Hi, in this video I will show you how to work with the cloud database and the query editor. So from the main menu I click on the cloud database. It will open at my left. There is all of the databases I have. I have one database. When I open this database I have some schemas, and those are the default schemas. When you're a new user there is some default schemas and you can create another schema. So for example, I'll create a schema called business data, and here I can create my tables. So a new table, for example, contacts, and I add columns. First name, last name, email, address, city, and country. Okay, and here I can specify the type, if it's alphanumeric, if it's a free text, a numeric, a decimal, date and time. So for the city, okay, I'll add the age too. I'll add age. I'll add age here in this column. Age I will set, for example, it's a numeric. And for the address, I will set it as a free text like this. I will get a bigger area where I can put the address. And here I can set, for example, the first name is required, the email is required, the address, the city, and the country. Here I can specify, for example, for the address, I double click on the address, I can specify the weight, the height, and everything, and I can use a rich editor for it. Okay. Here for my table, if I wanna customize the form, so my form will be 500, the height I'll put 502, is a layout of one column. I can keep it. I can make the labels to be above, not to be online, and I save. Okay, here's my table, and all of the tables on the platform have a unique ID. For example, this table is 1062. So when I right click on my table, I can create like this table, I can delete it, or I can add a record. So when I hit the add record, I have my form, I have the labels above, I have the address as rich editor, I have the city and the country. I'll put some information on its last name, Tiger, the age, 30, email is scott@tiger.com, and the address is 001 North of RT. Okay, and I put the city and the country. So the validation has activated, and we can see all those are required because we set that those columns are required. So the city, I can put Sunnyvale, and the country, I'll put USA. Later on we can see how we can do combo boxes here, drop downs, and there is other tables for the cities and for the countries. Okay, I save my data. I can browse this table to see my data, all of my data. So I have here the my record. I can add another record too. For example, John, last name, night, and the age is 22. The email is John at Night. The address is the 002 North RD, and the city is Sunnyvale, and the country is USA. Okay, and I can put more. I can edit a record, for example. I can save this table as Excel, text, XML, and those three types. And here I can modify my table, and for example, I can go back and set the height of it, for example, 500 or 600. I can put 600 here too, and I can save my table. When I open the form, add record, so add record is bigger right now, so I can adjust all of this. I can create other tables if I want, and it's that easy. It's not so complicated. So for those tables and for this data is not always entered manually. So this database is for the purpose of the business integration, and will be used in integration services like transformations and custom services. So this data can be accessible from custom services and transformation services. I will show you an example of this. Before this, I will take a look at the query editor from this link from the main menu. So the query editor, so I can run queries like I did in the past with any tool. For example, dash from my table is 1062, as I put this syntax 62, and I can execute my query. So I have the two records here. Is one is Scott, and there is a system ID affected to it, and there is, I think, there is a system columns allocated to. I will show all of the columns, and here there's the system columns. So there is the start date, the end date, the created by, the updated by, the created by user, the updated by user, the creation date, and the update date. So you don't need to add who is the creator, don't need to add the date when this record is created or when it's updated. I can run queries as I did in the past, for example, where C 6473473 equal, for example, Scott. I'll be back. Yeah, 73 Tiger. Okay, and it will give me one record, which is Tiger. So if you know that the nomenclature in the SQL of SkyPass is like this, when you wanna query a table, you have to enclose the ID of the table with the TB. A TB with this closing parentheses, and the columns, so you have to refer those columns. From here I can select from some tables, some special tables, for example the service activity. So if I look at the service activity, I have all of the logs of the services I ran before. So there's some services I ran before, and the cloud services, the custom services, and the transformation services. So I can, for example, I can select from this table the 1057, I can select 1057. Yeah. Okay, and I have all of these records, so I can see, for example, where the service is, sorry. For example, I can create queries like this, where service like, and I will put this, and it will give me just the records for this service. Okay, so I will get just this. So this is very important for the to see what's happening in your services. So there is a monitoring tool that you can use in cloud services. So here in the services monitoring, but this one is more. You can do queries to see what's happening. You can do queries, joins between tables to get a good monitoring data. I'll back to this. So I will create an example of a cloud service to access this data. So because the main of the cloud database is to interact with custom services and transformation services. So I will create a custom service that will get some data from those tables. So I will go to custom services, and I'll go to cloud examples. So I have the greeting here. Okay, I will see if I have some instances. Okay, I will add a service. So if you need more information about how to create cloud services and custom services, so just refer to our demo. There is a video for this. So here I will contacts cloud service. So I will create a contact cloud service, and here I will put my code. Okay, here I will put my code. So I will go to the documentation at the website. So developers, cloud services. I'll see. I think that in documentation, cloud services, custom services, and here are some examples like inserting and updating data into tables using services. I will use the querying data from tables using services. There is a manual here that you can look at it to interact with the cloud database. So I will get all of this code, and we'll look at it line by line. Okay, and here I will pass this. Okay. So here I can write my query. For example, select is the 1062, I think. I will verify this. Okay, I will remove this line, and I will just keep it simple. So as a select start from TB 1026, I will verify the 1026. Yeah, 1062. Sorry. And here I will see this table. So there is a describe button here. so I can see all of the columns. Okay. I can see all of the columns, so I can keep it open like this. I can see all of the columns, and here I will select where the first name is the 6472. 6472 equal a parameter that I will pass in the message. So I will pass Scott, for example. So in the message I will be receiving the first name, for example. Okay, and this is the first name, and here I'm creating a list of parameters to send to this query. So I will be sending the first name, and those parameters go here. So the easiest line is the unit4qtils.fetch, and the unit4qtils you can find it here in SOAPI. If you go to SOAPI, you go to unit of work utils, and you'll find the unit4qtils. And here there's a set of methods, the easy methods like the fetch as a JSON by default, and there is fetch XML for the XML. Okay, and yeah, so later on I'll see how to work with database unit of work, then working with the unit4qtils, because unit4qtils is like one query, so it creates a connection to the cloud database and get the data and closes the connection and returns the result in a specified format like JSON or XML. But when you want to do something from scratch, we have to go with using the database unit of work. So back to our service. So we'll be using right now the unit of work utils.fetch. We transmit here the cloud service. So here I will put the contacts cloud service, and the session context from here, the query I have here, and the parameters. I have just one parameter actually. So I Control S, the class is saved. Now I can create a service. For example, my service is the contacts. Yeah, I'll keep it simple. I drag and drop this here, and I will save my service. Okay, I will delete that one like this. I will have more chances to. Okay, I can create a service because I'm allowed to create two services. Okay, allowed to create two services because for the free edition, all of the users have the right to create two custom services and two transformation services. So I deleted the other one like this. I can create one. Okay, and now I'm ready to publish my services. Okay, I will publish the projects. I will replace the last version or create a new one. Okay, I'll replace the last version. Okay, yes. Some of the published services are deleted. Yes, yeah, I want to continue. Okay, and here I have my tests. So in the cloud service, what we did is we added the characteristics with the name results. By default, the unit4qtils add a characteristic called result to the message. So I had to get my results in the message. So I will create a test. Okay, I will send a characteristic called first name, and here I will put Scott So I have a record at the database with the first name Scott. I will execute its code. I will open this and I will find the result here. So here's the results. So the count is 1, the data, this is ID is the 1, the start date, the created by, and all of the default columns. And here we will find the first name, the last name, and other data like the address, the city, and the country. So okay, I will save it. Okay, so like this, we can access the database from here using the Unity4 utils if there is one query and you want to get some data and that's it. Or if you want to go further in more custom code, so I can go here. So at our website in the Cloud SOA API, you go to cloud storage, and in the cloud storage there is a good documentation about the database unit of work. So here, if you see that the database unit of work has a method execute that accepts query parameters and the query visitor. So, and there is an implementation of the default query parameters and some implementations of the query visitor. There is an abstract query visitor and there is a text query visitor, where there is 2 implementations, is the XML query visitor and the JSON query visitor. So the query visitor role is to intercept the records fetched from the database and do something with. So for example, for the DOS implementations, it's they are intercepting DOS records and creating streams, XML stream or a JSON stream. So here there is how to create a unit of work. So to create just a session context, a new database unit of work, and here you can put your code. For example, you can create query parameters and set the parameters to send to the database unit of work. So the unit of work is not for selecting data, but it's for inserting, updating, deleting, and selecting data. So all kinds of queries. So I will try to show you a small example. I'll see if I have one here. Okay. The class storage. Sorry. Cloud services. And here I can get some code from here. So here is an insert statement that you can. So we create a unit of work. Is that one? Is by using the session context new database unit of work, and here I create my parameters as the data will be inserted in the table, and here. Yeah, just I'm testing because I have the insert or update. I'm testing if it's new, the action is new, or the action is an update, and I need just to call this method is the unit of work that execute. I give it my query, my parameters, and there is no query visitor. Okay, so I commit my unit of work here, and that's it. So I'll try to do this example to show you live. So here I drop all of this code, and I will copy all of these imports. Okay, the imports I don't have in my service, and this import I don't need it. Okay, even this one. Okay, and here I'm creating the database unit of work, I'm adding some parameters. For example, here I will be adding the first name, the last name, the age, and all of this stuff. So for example, I will add well, Kate Lohan, I don't know, that's some, okay, 30. And here what I need is the address, so I'll put some an address here. For example, is the 2000 North Remington DR, for example. There is no thing. Okay, I'll be adding the city is Sunnyvale, and here USA. What else? There is the first name, the last name, the age, and the address, the email address too. Okay, the email address outputs. So kate@lohan.com. Okay, and I need my query right now. I don't have a query yet, and this is the query. So I will cast this and just put one query here. Okay. I declare my query. Okay, and here I will put insert into we'll see, insert into, I have to specify the columns. Okay, I'll copy all of this like this. Insert into my table, if I remember, is the 62. The columns I'll do like this, and I go back to my service, and it's the first name is the 6472 and 6473, 6474, and the email is okay, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay, and later on I will show you how to configure your queries like this. You don't have to write those queries here in the code. So the objective of this is just to show you how to create queries, but there is other ways to define all of those queries in the characteristic level. Okay, so the address, I have to put all of this columns, because the address is a large text. So, and have a name and the length and the value. So I will put for the 26 into 76, I will put 3 columns. There's the name, the content is the value, sorry, the value, and here there is the length of this content. Okay, so when you add records from manually here, So all of this is generated, and the length is calculated. The name is a substring from the large text. Okay, and here I have to put those parameters, and the name, maybe I will keep the address, and the length is one length. Okay, so now I saved my class, and I think everything is okay. So now I will republish my projects. Like this, I can test the change we did. Yeah, open test. Okay, I don't have this characteristic. I can keep it, but I don't have to. So here, so there is an error to show you parameter index out of range 4 greater than the number of parameters. Yes, true, because I didn't add the question marks. I will add some question marks here. I have 3, 3, 3, and 9. Okay, so 9 parameters. Okay, and here I will republish it another time. Okay, so yeah, I didn't save this. It's not important. Executes, and there's another error. Is that okay for column lengths? That's row 1. So I think that the length is the second one. So I put these. The address is the last one. Okay, so there is the name, the length, and the address itself. Okay, I will republish it. And here, this time it will be okay. So if I open this, yeah, there is the output characteristics. There is no result sent back. It's okay, but when we will go to the database and see the records, we have to find our third record is the Kate, Lohan, etc. So this was an example of how to query data from the database and insert data. So this is very important because when you are sharing cloud services, you can get some data from, for example, from SaaS vendors or SaaS applications, and put it on the cloud database to be processed in other services that will search for some data from those tables to do a transformation service, for example. So those tables can be shared on cloud services and can be used too in transformation services. If you go to transformation services, I'll open an existing one, and here I can add my cloud database. So imagine that you have two input types, and you have a table where you are describing the codes between the different codes between two systems, and you need to convert some codes that you are receiving in this HL7 to another code. So you can add this table here. For example, I can add the table. So I will select the table, for example, from the cloud database, business data, tables, contexts, apply, and I have my table here, and I can edit XSD if you want. So there is a demo for the transformation services if you wanna look at it. So, and in the mapping, so I can combine, when I'm doing the transformation, I can combine data from the table, from the table and the data from the HL7 file to be mapped to the outputs. Okay. Another use of the cloud database is to create backups and cache data. So like this, you don't have to go for some non-sensitive data or non-real-time data. You can keep a copy of it for a day or 4 hours in the cloud database without going to the cloud or other applications on the on-premise to look at this data. Another use of the cloud database is it's serving to configure the pipelines, the service consumers. So when we are configuring the service consumers, a service consumer, and there is a demo for this, is the way to consume the cloud services running on the platform. So here in the service consumers, I can configure the HTTP, the FTP, etc. And when I'm clicking on the HTTP, I have to specify a list of users that can talk to the cloud service in the platform. So here I have to go to identities, default identities of some tables. Here you have them here that are entities. I'm looking for HTTP users, and I can add some HTTP users here, and I select the HTTP user. So those HTTP users will be talking to your services. So the cloud database is a very important component for the platform for cloud services and transformation services. Its advantage is that we don't have to republish our running services if they depends on context on the database. They depends on some data in the database. If there is a change, for example, the email address of Kate is changed, I can go here, I edit, and I will change this email address. Imagine that this email address is used to send an email from a cloud service, so I don't have to go to the cloud service and stop it and develop something in the cloud service to change this this email address. I will go just in this database and I will change the email address, and that's it. I don't have to republish and everything. Other use for the cloud services and the transformation services too. When we are designing transformation services, there is the senders, and I can specify that all of those outputs will be going using some protocols. When I will be opening, for example, the FTP, so I have to specify the remote server, the user account, the backup folder, etc. And for the remote server is in the cloud database. So why is done that way? Because is the same reason. If I want to change the host of the FTP server I'm talking to, I don't have to go here and change. I can change just in the database. I don't have to shut down my service, stop it, and restart it. So I just go here and change my data and change my services. For example, here, so I go to default service, I will find the FTP server. So here, if there is a record, I can edit it, I can change the host, the URL of the FTP server, and my transformation will remain intact and will work with the new data. So this was an introduction to the cloud database, and if you need more information about the cloud database and the cloud storage, so please feel free to go and drill down on our documentation or at the developer section. Thank you so much. Hi, in this demo I will show you how to work with apps, files and folders. So from the main menu, I'll click on this link, so it will show me all of my folders. So as a new registered user, so you will get just my folder and the license agreement and the welcome page. So I will just create a new folder. So add folder, for example, images. I can add the description, for example, my personal images, and I hit the apply button. in the folder, this folder, I can add files. For example, I can upload files from my disk. Okay, I'll just put one file and I can open it to see. And I can change the properties of this file. So I can change the name. So I'll put nice logo. I can add a description of it. Logo to go. And here you can notice that there is a UID generated for this file. So every file in the platform has a UID, and there is a publish date and then a publish date. And there's three options, security options. Is that file will inherit the read access, or it's read-only access by all of the Skypass community, or it's read-only access by anyone. And here there's an option that will serve for files where you can put scripting on it, like HTML, JavaScript, CSS, XML, JSON, and so. And here you can add some properties. For example, I can add a property called owner, and here I can put my name. I can add another property, department, and here I can put technology. I'll hit the apply button. So I can add another file. At this time I will create a new file rather than uploading one from my computer. I can put new, and here you enter the name of the file with an extension, and the extension will serve the file editor to recognize the file and give you the good editor. If it's an XML file, for example, it will give you an XML editor. If it's an HTML file, it will give you an HTML highlighter and editor, and so on. So for example, I will create a form, an HTML form, just put the extension, yeah, and that's it. So it will give me an example of HTML file, author generated. Yeah, it contains a form. So if you see here, and I can save my file, yeah, open it to see it. So it shows a template form. So you can remove all of this and put whatever is 100% HTML. So everybody, and Control S will change this, will save the change. And here I have my hi everybody. So I will go back to my apps and folders, and I can create, for example, my XML, and okay, and it will give me just a template of an XML with the highlighting on it, and so on. Okay, I can save it, and I have my file too. Here I can add other folders. Yeah, for example, sources, and yeah, in the same way I can organize all of my folders with all of my files, etc. So back to my files, for example, I'll cut this one and I will put it here in my sources. Yeah, so when you cut a file, it preserves the same ID. So but when you copy a file, it will be generating another ID. So just put it in mind. Here I can save this form, for example, as a template. So for example, the name of the template is index. So all of my index. So, and here I can create a file, for example, form.index, and this will generate a form with the content of the file I created, and I can hit OK. This will serve if I have a project that I wanna develop applications and I wanted that some templates to be used by the developers, so you don't have to create every time you have to create it from scratch. That puts a template and all of the developers can use this template. For example, you will put the header of the company, the footer of the usually of the company too, and the developer just have to implement the between the header and the footer. Okay, and so here there is some columns that you can see. So there is the modified on. There's the description of this file. It shows here too. You can download this file if you want, and so on. And that's it for the files, folders, and apps. So it's just a simple way to store your data, to store your files, to create folders. And later on in another demo, we will show you how to create applications just using the apps, files, and folders. Thank you so much.